The sterile air of the lawyer's office did little to cool the simmering resentment that had been a constant companion throughout my life. Sunlight, usually a cheerful presence, felt intrusive, illuminating the smug satisfaction on my sister's face and the patronizing pity in my parents' eyes. I clutched my threadbare handbag, its familiar worn leather a small comfort in the face of overwhelming disapproval. My grandfather's will reading was not a celebration of his life, but a stark pronouncement of my perceived failure. The mahogany table felt like a barrier, separating me from the life of privilege my sister, Olivia, so effortlessly inhabited. Mr. Abernathy, Grandpa's longtime legal counsel, a man whose demeanor was as precise as his perfectly knotted tie, cleared his throat. His voice, usually measured, seemed to carry an unusual weight as he began outlining the distribution of Grandpa Arthur's considerable estate. Olivia, ever the golden child, was the first to be addressed. A sum of $10 million was stipulated for her, an amount that elicited gasps of awe from my parents and a triumphant, almost mocking, smile from Olivia. My turn was next. Mr. Abernathy's gaze, devoid of warmth, settled on me. The words that followed were a cold echo of years of disappointment. I was to be given a token sum, a pittance, with the directive that I should go earn my own way. The implication was clear: I was a disappointment, undeserving of Arthur's true legacy. A wave of humiliation washed over me, so potent I felt physically ill. My parents offered no comfort, their expressions conveying a silent agreement with Grandpa's lawyer's assessment. Olivia simply smirked, a cruel glint in her eyes. Just as the suffocating silence threatened to break me, Mr. Abernathy's demeanor shifted. He placed a thick, sealed document on the table, its crisp edges a stark contrast to the casual way my parents had dismissed me. His voice, now softer, held a curious undertone. This document, he explained, was a separate, final instruction from Grandpa Arthur, intended solely for me. It was a codicil, a revision to the will, kept secret until this moment. My parents exchanged uneasy glances, their earlier smugness replaced by a flicker of confusion, then apprehension. Olivia, for the first time, seemed less triumphant, her brow furrowed in a question. Mr. Abernathy opened the document, his movements deliberate. He began to read. The words were not about money in the traditional sense, but about ownership. Grandpa Arthur, it transpired, had foreseen this very scenario. He had, years prior, discreetly transferred the controlling shares of his immensely successful, global manufacturing company, Arthur Industries, not to his children, but to me, his granddaughter. The company, the source of our family's immense wealth, the foundation of my parents' comfortable lifestyle, and the very entity that had funded Olivia's $10 million inheritance, was legally, unequivocally, mine. The $10 million given to Olivia was a fraction of the company's quarterly profits, a paltry sum compared to the entire enterprise that had been entrusted to me. The air in the room grew thick, heavy with unspoken truths. My parents' faces drained of all color. My father, usually so boisterous and self-assured, looked as if he had been struck physically. His jaw went slack, his eyes wide with disbelief, then horror. He stammered, a choked sound escaping his throat, a desperate attempt to form words that wouldn't come. My mother, her carefully constructed facade of societal grace shattering, let out a guttural scream. It was not a scream of anger, nor of surprise, but of pure, unadulterated panic. It was the sound of a life built on illusion and deception suddenly collapsing around her. The reality of their situation, the implications of their lifelong dismissal of me now laid bare, had clearly struck them with the force of a physical blow. They had spent years living off an inheritance that was, in essence, mine, and their comfortable existence was about to vanish, replaced by the cold, hard truth of their financial ruin. In that moment, surrounded by the wreckage of my family's facade, I understood Grandpa Arthur's final, brilliant act of protection. He had ensured I would not only survive but thrive, armed with the truth and the reins of my own destiny. What are your thoughts on this unbelievable revelation? I'm dying to know what you think about my family's reaction and Grandpa Arthur's secret plan. Drop all your theories and opinions in the comments below. If you were as shocked as I was and want to hear more stories like this, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to share another shocking tale with you all tomorrow.